Hello.
Jeepers. Was
Oh,
not mentioned.
I'm not on my headset. Hold on a second. That's really strange. How are you, lovely?
Good. How are you?
Great. Um, hmm. My AirPods said they were connecting, but then they're not. Hold on just a second.
Ugh,
Oh,
okay.
there you are. Now you are. You're on. Great. That makes it easier for me to hear you. Wonderful.
Having
How are
issues with the um, screen mirroring for Ethan's karate. We like put it on the TV.
okay.
Oh, it's not coming up. We're about to start the Zoom lesson.
Oh,
It all worked.
I was yeah, it's like rushed today. I don't know about you, but it's been a funny, busy day for us as well. I was just in a park with a client whom I train with. I train with twice a week, every weekend. Um, but if he and I are together, like we talk, and it's like, oh my god, I'm like Rob, I really gotta go. Like we gotta stop on time today. So
I do want to hear about your life, but just not right now.
yeah, exactly. Well, and sometimes it's me too. Like I'm chatting too with him, so it's like, and he's pretty funny. So tell me, how was your week? How is everything going?
Good. Long. I've
Yeah.
started to do projects. So my shoulder's really acting up tonight. Yesterday
Oh,
too. Um, that's a big
okay.
piece.
Okay. I'm looking at your pieces, and I'm assuming you've made those pieces behind you.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Okay, they are magnificent. Like that is absolutely amazing. Just
Thank
amazing.
you.
Wow. I have to say, you said that to me last week, and it's like, I'm going to look what macrame is all about. That seems like something I'd probably enjoy.
Lots of
Lots.
nodding.
Yeah, that's nodding. Oh,
That's
it's
like,
fun.
oh, that hurts.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to need some neck work and maybe some shoulder openers. Yeah. I just started taking a pottery class, which I normally do on Wednesdays. And I have to say, I haven't done anything like that in, I don't know, a really long time. And a friend of mine, it was just by fluke, invited me, and I was like, oh, I really missed that creative side to me. Because I don't know if you know, but I was really into the arts and crafts for years. I had my own business, and it was really a part of my life. Yeah, I owned a company called Kinder Clips, and I used to sell supplies, so ribbons and buttons and suspender clips. Yeah, so suspender clips were made for the babies' dummies,
Yeah.
their slusses, and I sold like hundreds of thousands of those, like out of my basement, and I really miss that life that I used to have, that part of my life, and so when I was invited to this, I was like, let's try it. And actually, I get into it, and I'm like, oh, like I lose time. It's amazing. I'm sure it's the same for you.
Exactly.
I'm sure. And that's an amazing space to be in. Like, oh my goodness. Like I'm so glad you have that for yourself. Although we do have to take care of that shoulder.
Like the only downside to it is it's very I find it very easy, relaxing,
Yeah,
I can do it, watch my show, work's over. It's just something to do while I'm done working.
sure.
And this is like what I'm getting from it. And I'm like, it's not taking me out. I'm still able to move it.
Yeah.
It's just a little painful.
Yeah. Well, we can support that and get that kind of keep, because you need that shoulder for many, many, many years to come. You can't
Girl.
get another one. So let's try and make sure we take care of it. So, so Maryann, tonight I thought we're going to focus a little bit on the hips, but because you're kind of saying your shoulder's feeling a little kind of aggravated, we'll do a little bit of some gentle openers through the chest. We're going to be really gentle this evening with our chest and with our shoulders so that we don't aggravate it and inflame the area. I would definitely encourage you to do some icing if it is feeling a little. Well, you've got a doctor in the house. I'm not going to give you any advice. I mean, you got yourself a direct line to someone who's going to tell you. But yeah, so we'll just be careful with that today. But I thought it'd be nice for us to work on our hips a little bit this evening and do a little bit of mobility through that. But I thought we would start this evening with just a little talk of ahimsa. Ahimsa is one of the niyamas and is the first niyama. And niyamas are part of the 8 limbs of yoga. So in yoga, we have 8 limbs and they incorporate breath, they incorporate asana, niyamas, yamas. And they are basically, if you will, they're kind of like the governing guidelines to yoga. They're things that we use as our guidelines in our yogic practice. And as you know, we kind of pull from all this information a little bit here, a little bit there. I thought it would be nice to start with this idea of ahimsa. And ahimsa is really special because ahimsa talks about non-harming. And there's no correlation to like the 10 commandments and do no harm. There's no religious connotation here at all. So let me just get that clear. If you wish it to be, that's entirely up to you, but it's not the intention. So, but I find this one really special because ahimsa talks about non-harming. And when we talk about non-harming is also, of course, do no harm to other people. No, obviously, no physical injury, but no harming with our words. But more importantly, well, I shouldn't say more importantly, more probably personally for ourselves is also the way we treat ourselves and talk to ourselves and the way we approach our practice physically. And sometimes we get caught up. I won't lie, I've been down that rabbit hole of Instagram at some point, watching people doing these really crazy yogic poses. And no, I know those are not appropriate for me, but I'll still try. I might like give it a go. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that was too much. So today I want us to just think about this idea, this intention of ahimsa and doing no harm. So when we're going to be practicing together today, just think of that in the back of my mind, so or your mind. And you know, if something's feeling a little bit wiggly or a little bit fatigued, you've had a long day, maybe we need to take a break. Maybe we need to say, all right, we're going to take a few seconds here, just take it easy. And also, as we kind of move through our body, just thinking about those words that really lift us rather than break us down. So just sometimes we're like, oh, I'm tight here. Even the word, using the word tight, is kind of a negative tone, right? We're not thinking of ourselves as, flexible. We're thinking of ourselves as tight, but rather just enjoying, or not enjoying, more just observing what it is our body's doing without any sort of labeling of any sort of judgment or any expectation, but rather just moving. And with today's practice, because we're going to be focusing on the hips, and we will talk about this throughout our time together, the relevance of the psoas in particular, because it's a very, very emotionally connected muscle in the body. It is our fight or flight muscle. So when we feel anxious, when we feel scared, when we feel, of course, we're not in, Paleolithic times where we're kind of running against, behind, away from bears and things that can eat us and kill us. We're not in that stage anymore in our lives, but we still have that instinctual fight or flight reaction. And it's very, very much tied to our psoas muscle, which is a muscle that really connects from the center of our core all the way down to our femurs. They actually say that your legs start about here, because this hip flexor connects your upper body to your lower body. So it's the only muscle that connects from here to your legs. So, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as we work together. But and when I do my next psoas release workshop, I'm going to invite you to it because it's a really special one. So, but today we're going to be thinking about our hips and going into it very gently. So if you are on your own doing some hip opening work, I want you to really embrace this idea of ahimsa, because it is such a connected muscle to our emotional state, to our nervous system, that we want to go into it also with so much love and so much care and so much gentleness. So I'm just giving you that as kind of a preemptive thing, a preemptive thought as we move through our practice today. So you're going to need 2 yoga blocks, and you're going to need your strap if you have one.
Is that the one with, so I've got 2. Shocker, I had them. I didn't even know.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's a great one. I love that one. I had one. I think a client brought it home. Yeah, you can use either or.
I don't even know what this
So that's like mine. You
Oh.
have one that you can hold onto the handles, and I love those ones because
Yeah,
if you've got longer arms, shorter arms, those are really nice. And you have just your 2 yoga blocks nearby. So we're going to use both of those. So let's go ahead today, and I want you to lie down on your back. And I want you to bring your feet about hip distance apart, and we're going to start in constructive rest pose. So with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor and your upper body lying down completely. Yeah, wonderful. I can see your body beautifully. And go ahead and let your knees knock together. So let your knees kind of come together and just relax here. So maybe your feet want to come a little wider than your mat though. Yeah, so open your feet as wide as they can go and then let your knees just come towards each other. Just let them knock together. So this is called constructive rest pose. So if you've had a day where you've either been doing a ton of walking, I feel like you need to do this every day because really I'm sure that's what you do all day long. But this is a really nice way just to relax in through those hip flexors. And you might not think you're doing anything, but you are doing a tremendous amount to help them really just chill out, don't do any work. They're just kind of letting themselves kind of be there without having any sort of force put on them. So let your arms rest out to the side, or you can put one hand on your heart, one hand on your tummy, whatever feels natural for you. And then go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable. If not, you can absolutely have a gaze up towards the sky. And I want us to begin today with our 3-part yogic breath. We practiced that last week and we're going to come back to it today. So now you're in this lying position. And I want you to notice your spine, the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, your mid back, your low back, your tailbone, kind of resting down on the floor. And begin to take a few nice, big, slow inhales in through the nose and then out through the nose. And I want you to start to allow your body to completely relax down into the mat. Starting to feel like your body's feeling really heavy. And just let everything go. And as you breathe in, start to notice your tummy rising. And as you breathe out, start to notice your belly or your tummy coming in towards your spine. And this is a really lovely diaphragmatic breath. And I want you to think of expanding the belly as far as you can go. Maybe you start to unglue your tongue from your palate. Maybe you notice your teeth separating a little bit. Maybe your jaw starts to soften. Your throat. Your eyes. Your cheeks. Your forehead. Start to imagine that as you're lying here, you're sowing your roots. You're grounding your body. We talked about grounding last week. You're grounding yourself towards the earth, creating this foundation. Maybe you start to see yourself grounding your body, creating roots down towards the earth, really offering this sense of support and trust. Trust in the process, trust in where you are right now is where you're meant to be. Nowhere else, just here in this moment. And perhaps we take this opportunity to invite this sense of permission, this permission that right now you need not think about what was, and you need not think about what will come. But rather inviting this presence, this being here in this moment and nowhere else. Perhaps you invite your shoulders to soften a little bit. And now let's begin to deepen our breath. Begin by filling your tummy up about 1/3 of a breath, then filling your ribs for 1/3, and then your heart space for the last. And then as you exhale, release the heart, release the ribs, and draw the tummy in towards the spine. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, filling that torso, and then breathing out and out and out completely. Let's do that 2 more rounds at your own perfect pace, and I want you to imagine you're like an ocean's wave, filling and releasing, moving with the flow. And now let us take a moment to set our intentions for our practice. Our intention is not necessarily a goal, but rather just this belief, this intention that whatever it is you need is going to be absorbed, recognized, invited into your practice today. And if you're not sure what to say, you can always come back to I am grounded. And as you create your intention, think of it as being in the present moment, that you are in that space of being in your intention. I am at peace. I am calm. I am loved. And you are there right now. Now let us begin, and we're going to take 3 clearing breaths. And we're going to do that by drawing our breath in through our nose, and with a big sigh out of the mouth. One more time. Wonderful. Now, as you're ready, gently begin to separate your knees so that they're about hip distance apart, and begin to toe and heel your feet so that they're nicely aligned with the knees. Bring your feet a little closer towards center. Wonderful. Now here you can keep your left knee bent, or you can extend it. We're going to go ahead and take our right knee in towards our chest. Interlace your fingers and draw the hands right in front of the knee. And as you inhale, draw the knee away from your body. And as you exhale, draw the knee in towards your heart, like an accordion, emptying out the air. Breathing in and gently breathing out. Let's continue this flow a few more times. And all we're looking to do is just release the hip here. So if there's any sort of pain, any sort of discomfort, take notice of it. We can always modify. We're just gently drawing the knee in. We're not forcing it. We're not causing any harm to our body. Wonderful. Let's do that one more time. Fantastic. And then as you're ready, set your right foot down and then go ahead and draw your left knee in towards your chest. And same thing, inhale, extend at the knee. And then exhale, gently pull it in. Inhale. And exhale. You're welcome to breathe in and out of the nose. Notice how the shoulders might want to start tensing up. So as you exhale, let those shoulders release. You're just guiding the knee in, not forcing the shoulders or the upper body. Let's do that 2 more times. Wonderful. Go ahead and release and set that left foot down. Fantastic. Now, as you're ready, we're going to draw both knees in towards our chest, giving ourselves a little hug here. And try to shimmy yourself down at the lower part of your body so that you can almost see your tailbone reaching away from the upper body, creating a little more space. And then from here, if you want to, you can rock yourself side to side. Just give your spine, give your low back a nice little bit of massage. And just gently kind of feeling your body, even pressing down deeper in towards the mat. Like you're creating an imprint of your body in the mat, into the ground beneath you. Just leaving your mark. Wonderful. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and draw yourself back through center. Set your feet down to the floor. Fantastic. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our strap. And we're going to set the strap underneath both of the feet. So we're going to extend the feet up towards the sky. I think you are good for space. I don't know if you might need to shimmy over a little bit at some point, but we'll get there when we get there and we can make some modifications. So lying down on your back, we're going to draw the feet up towards the sky, set the strap underneath the soles of the feet, and just keep that space under the sacrum, so the low, kind of that pelvic low back area. And we're just going to draw our heels up towards the sky, and feel free to find that length through the legs as far as feels comfortable. So if you get to a point and you're like, oh, I feel the sensation behind my legs, that's probably about where we want to go. We don't need to go beyond that point. We're not trying to jam or lock into our knees. We're trying to create length here. So as we're here, draw your heels perhaps towards the sky and draw your toes towards your heart. And this is going to just turn everything on in the back of the legs. And as you're holding onto your strap, try to keep your shoulders nice and supple and soft. And just inviting this hamstring stretch, so that group of muscles that run behind the thigh that connect into your sits bones and run all the way kind of into the back of the leg, into the back of the knee. And from here, we're going to keep our right leg extended, and we're going to go ahead and release our left leg long. And as you extend that left leg, just allow it to completely relax here. Taking your right foot, we're going to still energize through the heel. Again, don't feel like you've got to lock the leg in. You're absolutely welcome to have a little bend in the leg. We're going to grab hold of the strap in the right hand. Take your left hand and just set it on your left hip. And as you're ready, we're going to gently start to open up towards the right side. And your left hip might want to come with you, but I want us to try and super glue it down to your mat. And so as you,
will go all the way down with my leg if my hip's rising, or just go as far as my leg will go?
Go as far as feels comfortable for you without your left hip lifting up towards the sky. So the reason we don't want that left hip lifting is because it's going to kind of give you this impression that you're going deeper into the stretch, but when your left hip lifts, you're creating a rotation. And all you're doing is facilitating the rotation and letting the right leg go down towards the floor. Here, with that left hip really anchored, you're really allowing yourself to get into that inner thigh muscular structure. Sorry?
I feel it there, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good. Now, we're going to bring it up, but before we do, I want you to use the strap as a guide, but I want you to think about bringing that engagement through the inner thighs here. So really thinking about starting to turn the inner thigh muscles on, starting to pull up and lift the leg up, and gently start to lift up and bring that foot up towards the sky again. Good. Nice job. Now we're going to do a little IT band stretch here. So we're going to switch the grip. We're going to take that strap into our left hand. You're going to extend that right arm out to a T, a half T shape. That's just going to offer a little counterbalance. Now I want you to bring your foot. This is where I was saying we might need to move the camera, but now bring your right foot over your midline and bring it over to me. I don't know how far you are from the camera, so if your leg can come all the way over, that right leg is going to cross all the way over your midline. No, but switch hands. Yeah, take that right arm out. Left hand holds onto the strap, and you're going to cross it over. Now here, I want you to take your pelvis, and you're going to actually pull your pelvis off the ground. So the right hip is going to lift off the ground. There you go. There you go. Good. Keep both shoulders down on the floor. There you go. So we made that nice adjustment there. This way we keep that upper thoracic, the upper part of our core kind of rotating, but not in our low back. And we're also really getting into the IT band here. So you might be feeling this in your glute. You might be feeling this right along the outer edge of your right leg, from your hip maybe down towards your knee. Good. Does that feel okay?
It's like I feel it, but it's not like straining or.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. You can, if it feels comfortable, you can, if you wanted to, a little bit more, lift your pelvis a little bit more and go into a deeper rotation. So long, yeah, there you go. There you go. And try to relax the leg a little bit. So try to breathe into it. Yeah. Do you feel that now? Do you feel that now, Maryann?
I don't know if it feels relaxed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This part, maybe.
Good. And then slowly bring that right leg back up towards center. Again, using the outer edges of the muscles this time, coming back through center. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take that left foot into the strap, bring both feet in, reach them up to the sky. Yeah, you can do both. One more time. We're just going to do a little hamstring stretch here.
Get in there.
Good. Nice, flexing through the heels. There you go. Good. Breathe into it. Nice. Okay. Now next we're going to go ahead and release that right leg long. Let it just completely relax there on the floor. Wonderful. Great. And then with your leg, extend it as much as feels comfortable. So we're not trying to force or lock into the knee joint. We're going to go ahead and do our inner thigh opener. So take your right arm and you can extend your right arm out to that T. We didn't do this on the other side, but we can do it now. The right arm to that T, and then hold on to with your left hand and then open up towards me. And then keep that right hip now glued down to the floor. Good. See how it feels to push your foot out maybe an inch closer to me. Lengthen your leg. There you go. Good. Take a few breaths here. Relax through the pelvic area. If you're feeling any shaking or anything like that, that's okay. I'm just going to notice that. Great. And then using those inner thigh muscles, we're going to start to really engage, really lift that leg up using the muscles, not just the strap, and then bring it back through center. Terrific. Wonderful. Go ahead and switch your grip, and we're going to do that IT band stretch on the other side, rotating, lifting that left hip all the way up. Keep the shoulders down to the floor. Fantastic. Nice job. You've got great range there. And just allow the leg to feel heavy here. So think about how we started today, just allowing the breath to kind of settle your body down. It's releasing the muscles, any sort of like, might have some kind of engagement there we're not even realizing we're having because we're working against it. Just try to let your body feel heavy here. Wonderful. And then slowly start to lift that leg. Use those outer muscles, engage through the glutes, start to lift that leg up. Nice. Nice.
Very often.
Sorry?
Muscles are not used very often.
Oh, this is a great one for you because we do a lot of walking forward and back. So this is a good way to get those IT band stretches. That's great. All right, go ahead and bring both feet into the strap one last time. Extend the legs out and just inhale. We're going to bend the knees. And then exhale, reach the legs long as if you're trying to grow your legs a little longer, but without forcing that. So breathe in, bend the knees. And then exhale, reach the legs long, extending through. There you go. Good. Bend in. And exhale, lengthen the legs. Fantastic. Great. Let's do that 2 more times. Wonderful. And then go ahead and release your strap, set your feet down to the floor. And you're going to bring your feet about hip distance apart. We're going to go through some bridge poses next. So bridge poses are a great way to strengthen the back of the body, the glutes, but also a great way to open up the hips. So with your feet facing forward, and just take a look and make sure your knees and hips are hip distance apart. Everything's nicely aligned. Perfect. Great. Now, as you're ready, rest your hands at the side. We're going to inhale. And then as you exhale, energize through your glutes, energize through your heels, and lift your torso up towards the sky. Good. Beautiful. Inhale here, and as you inhale here, I want you to imagine your knees are going over your toes. You're reaching long through the quads, engage through the glutes, and then exhale, release, come all the way back down. Fantastic. Good, let's do that. We're gonna do that about 6 times. So inhale, and then exhale, energize through your glutes, energize through your heels. Inhale, open up the front body. Reach the knees past the toes, not literally, just figuratively. And then exhale, release down. Come all the way down. Use your abs to bring your back down nice and controlled. Fantastic. Now, as you're engaging through your glutes, inhale, go ahead, and then exhale, lift. I want you to engage through your glutes, but I'm not looking for you to like break a penny here. So we're not trying to clench. We're just trying to engage. And then slowly let yourself come all the way down. Fantastic. Let's do 3 more like that. Exhale, lift. Knees are tracking nicely with your hips. Let the weight rest into your shoulders, not your throat. And then lower back down. Use your core to really slowly set your sacrum down. Fantastic. 2 more. Wonderful. Inhale, open up that front body. There you go. And then exhale, release down. That's so good, Maryann. Great job. And then one last one. And then release. Fantastic. Well done. Good. Let's go ahead. We're going to do a little chest opener here, but actually more to give your shoulder a little stretch. But let's first start off bringing your arms about shoulder distance apart up towards the sky. So the other way, so up towards your ceiling. So yeah, there you go. Palms facing each other. So there you go. Good. Now, as you're going to inhale, I want you to scissor your right arm back and your left arm forward. Good. So you're going to kind of, yeah, there you go. And then inhale and switch. Exhale, reach. Sorry, I said the breath wrong. Inhale to switch. Exhale to lengthen, reaching the arm up overhead. And switch. Good. So alternating sides. Right arm comes down, left arm comes back. There you go. Scissor those arms. Good. Inhale through center. Exhale, release, and reach the arms back. So it's like you're a little bit of a soldier here. So as you're down on the ground, we're kind of scissoring the arms back and forth. And as we're doing that, we're thinking about lengthening through the arms, keeping the torso nice and steady, no movement through there. And just giving our shoulder a little opener here, really gentle. Just taking our time. Does this feel okay on your right shoulder?
It does. I feel like
okay.
I'm not doing it right.
Okay, good.
In going down, breathing out, going up.
So breathing out exhale as you reach the arms in opposition. So one arm up, one arm down. Inhale to switch, and then exhale opposite side. I'm cueing the breath because what I want you to just focus on is your ribs not moving. So sometimes when we breathe in as we reach, our ribs tend to pop up. And rather than that, we're going to exhale and keep those ribs down. But don't worry too much about the breath. It kind of happens naturally. Good. Great. Let's do one more round on either side. And then we're going to do some arm circles. And we're going to just see how this feels on your shoulder. Okay. And then bring your arms back through center. Wonderful. Good. And let's bring them up, reach up towards the sky. Bring your arms so that they're shoulder height. So more so that they're aligned with your shoulder. Palms are facing each other. Good. Good. Yeah. So now, Maryann, I want you to exhale. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Now, I want you to be careful with this. Your palms are going to open and we're going to circulate the arms all the way around and then come right back up through center. Yeah. So as if you're drawing a big snow angel, all the arms all the way around. Find that range of motion that works for you. If you feel any impingements, if it starts to pinch and it hurts, let me know, please. We're just going to relax and we won't do this any further. But I found that when I did these arm circles and when I did these scissors over time, it just invited some more mobility into the shoulder. And just a little bit of that release, a little bit of that strengthening. Also invited a little bit more of stretch through the pectoralis minor, which is a muscle that kind of runs right in the front part of the shoulder. And it's a nice way to kind of stretch out that muscle. Good. And just exhale, lift your arms. Good. And let's do that one more time in that direction. Now we're going to reverse the direction. So sweep the arms all the way almost to your side. And then sweep them back up to, there you go. Perfect. Great. Now, arms are up towards the sky. We're going to inhale, drop the arms down, and just reverse that circle. Reverse our snow angel. Opening up. This may feel different, might not feel different, but it might.
It's easier to do, I find.
It's easier to do? Yeah.
Less resistance on my shoulder.
Okay. So that's great feedback. So this is something great for you to do kind of on the daily, just because, especially, however, not on the daily. If you're having a flare up of tendonitis in your left shoulder or your right shoulder, sorry, I keep saying the left, mine is the left. You might want to ice it and give it a break first. I don't want it to aggravate too much, but or not, if you're not feeling pain, then it should be okay. You should be able to do it without aggravating anything. Good. Let's do one more like that. Good. And then go ahead and rest. And if you think about your macrame, think about how you're doing that, right? It's kind of counter, that's more the motion your body's used to. So I'm not surprised you have a little more range on that side and a little less with the opposite direction. Good. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to flip onto our tummy. And we're going to do a little cat-cow, and then we're going to come into another hip opener. So start with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Wonderful. That's fantastic. Great. Bring your knees a little bit more forward so that they're a little bit more underneath your hips. There you go. Perfect. Great. Awesome. Great. From here, think about articulating from your tailbone to start. We're going to start with our inhale, going into our cow. So start to inhale, tilt your pelvis down. It's like you're arching your low back. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Roll those shoulders down. There you go. And then exhale, start from your tailbone, pull your tummy in, round, and then press the hands into the floor, round the upper back, gaze between the knees. Good. Inhale, articulate, tailbone down, lifts, arch the low back, roll those shoulder blades back and down. Lift your gaze. Now your gaze is lifting with the same range of motion as your spine. So we're not trying to flex in through the neck too far, just kind of let it go along with the rest of the spine. So as you're here, our gaze is going to naturally want to lift, but I don't want you to strain through the neck, okay? Exhale, tuck the tail under, energize through the hands, let the gaze fall between the knees and let your neck rest and give the back of the neck a little stretch. Inhale, go ahead, arch the low back. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. Open up your heart. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the spine. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's do that one more round. And inhale. Last one. And exhale. Now stay in your cat shape. Round into the upper body. Let the head really just bob down towards the ground. Good. From here, holding this rounded shape, I want you to shift your hips back towards your heels. Just enough to give your low back a little stretch. Yeah, go ahead, shift. As far as feels comfortable, holding that rounded body. Good. Now lengthen your spine and come into your child's pose. Widen through the knees, big toes together. Wonderful. Extending through the hands if that feels comfortable. Good. Now from here, I want you to take 3 big breaths, but I want you to focus on releasing your hips. So let your hips kind of melt down towards the ground. So as you breathe in, maybe sigh it out and let all that weight of your body just resting down towards the earth. And just see if you can let go and just invite some spaciousness into our hips here. Wonderful. Now we're going to do a little bit of lateral flexion here just to give our side body a little stretch, and then we're going to move right into our kneeling hip opener. So taking your hands, with them being long the way they are, walk your hands over to the left side of the mat, opening up the right side of the body. And here I want you to think of expanding your breath to expand your ribs, expanding those muscles between the ribs, those secondary breathing muscles. Soften through your shoulder. And remember this idea of ahimsa. If it starts to feel like it's too much for the shoulders or too much for the neck, bring your elbows in a little closer. Relax your upper body. Let this feel spacious. And then slowly walk your hands back through center, and then take the arms and bring them over to the other side of the mat. Wonderful. And now we're going to expand through the left side of the body. Try to relax through the shoulders. Child's pose with this lateral flexion is really meant to feel expansive, relaxing, restorative, no stress here. And then walk your hands back through center. Now from here, Maryann, we're going to inhale, come back into our all fours position. And before we come into our kneeling lunge, we're going to start first in downward dog. Now from our all fours position, knees are underneath the hips, back is nice and long. I'm going to take my hands, we're going to take our hands and bring them a little bit forward of the shoulders, so they're not directly underneath, but just a little bit forward. When you come into downward dog, you want to think about your weight resting into your thumb and your pointed finger. If you find too much weight resting on the outer edge of the hand, you're going to cause some nerve constriction here, and that can be really discomforting on the on this nerve that runs along, kind of can give you some tingling. So we're going to try to weigh in a little bit more through the thumb and through the pointed finger. And then as you're ready, go ahead and curl your toes under. And I want you to think about those sits bones coming up towards the sky. Energize through the heels. And as you start to press yourself up, start to extend your legs, maybe keeping them bent a little bit, maybe keeping them extended, whatever feels right. With your sits bones reaching up towards the sky and your chest is open, hands are nice and anchored down to the ground. Go ahead and bend in through your right knee and extend through your left. So reaching the heel down. And then bend into your left knee and reach with your right foot down. So we're just pedaling the feet here. So imagine you're walking, just walking one foot and then the other. Maybe one side feels like it needs to have a little bit more time. If that's the case, take a breath or two there. Let it settle in. Keep your hands nice and starfish, so nice and wide, so you have this beautiful base beneath you. So relaxing through the heart, breathing in and breathing out. Relax through the neck. Wonderful. Let's do 2 more like this. Fantastic. And then when you're ready, go ahead and draw both heels down towards the ground. And we're going to bring the feet in a little closer to center. We're going to come into 3-legged dog. So rest your left foot into the floor. Inhale, sweep your right leg up towards the sky. And go as far as feels comfortable. Engage through your glutes here. Bend your right knee and open your right knee as if you're trying to take your toe and look over to the left side of the room, but let your shoulders stay square. Wonderful. Inhale, come back through center, extend your right leg and set it down to the floor. Try to keep a little micro bend in your elbow so you're not locking into the joint. Settle your right foot into the floor and then take your left leg up, reaching tall. Wonderful. Bend in through that left knee and then open up towards the right. So think about a little twist here, but your shoulders are square and you're just focusing on that hip. Wonderful. And then bring it back through center, extend that left leg, set the left foot down to the floor. Fantastic. From here, bend your knees and start to walk your hands towards your feet. And we're going to find ourselves in our forward fold. And from here, maybe you have a bend in the knee. Maybe your legs are extended. Or perhaps maybe we're taking a block and going to raise the floor to meet our body today.
So from here, let your head just settle down towards the earth. And let's go ahead and grab our right elbow with our left hand and our left elbow with our right. And you can toe heel your feet a little wider than hip distance apart. And then go ahead and let your body rock side to side. Just gently allowing the low back to release. Now try to make this forward fold feel nice and comfortable. So if you need to bend the knees, please do. And as you rock yourself, let the crown of the head, the top of your head, be like a water pitcher. And you're going to pour out anything you need to let go of today. Maybe thoughts, maybe an emotion that's not serving you, whatever it is you need to let go of today. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe we're just opening up, just letting whatever needs to pour out, nothing specific. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, make your way back towards center. Let your hands drift down towards the floor, and we're going to come into a couple of half sun salutations. So from here, we're going to inhale, energize through the glutes and the hamstrings, set your hands at your shin and lengthen your back. Lead with your heart forward. Exhale, release down towards the floor. One more time. Inhale, find your way to your half arch, hands resting on the thighs. Exhale, release all the way down. Inhale, bend your knees, sweep your arms, reverse swan diving the arms all the way up as you press your feet into the floor, reaching with the arms up overhead. Press your palms together, bring your hands to your heart center. And let's take a moment here to remind ourselves of our intention, our I am statement. Now, as you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up towards the sky. Exhale, extend the arms out to a strong T. Pull the belly in, lead with the heart all the way down towards the floor, coming back into your forward fold. Inhale, come into your half arch. Lead with the heart forward. Pull those shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, release down to the floor. One more time. Inhale, find your half arch. Lead with your heart. Exhale, release down. Inhale, bend the knees. Press the feet into the floor and sweep the arms all the way up and over. Exhale, go ahead and bring your hands back down to your heart center. Wonderful. And from here, release your hands into Tadasana. So arms are going to be outstretched here. Feet are hip distance apart. Hands are resting at the side with the palms facing forward. It's a very energizing, strengthening pose. It's called mountain pose, Tadasana. And it might not seem like much, but honestly, it is one of those poses where it just brings you back to grounding into the earth, opening up the heart space, energize through the feet, through the hands, and just begin to feel that energy kind of working from the toes all the way to the crown of the head. Try to find a little bit of that equal distribution of weight into both feet. So we're not leaning one side a little more than the other. Trying to find both sides, that nice equal distribution. That's a tough thing. You can even lift your toes for a moment here, just to feel also that 4-point connection. That's a great way just to kind of connect down to the earth. And you can slowly start to bring each of your toes back down to the ground and just plant them there. Really invite this sense of grounding through the feet. Wonderful. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and walk our way up to the top of our mat. And let's make sure we've got our 2 blocks readily available. We're going to set them on either side of our mat so that you've got one on the right side, one on the left. And beginning at the top of the mat, palms are open, gaze is forward. Let's go ahead and inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, draw the navel in, lead with your heart all the way forward, rest your hands down to the floor. Take your right foot and set it long. So you're coming into a low lunge here. And just energize through that right heel. Keep that left knee stacked right on top of that left ankle. And then go ahead and set that right knee down to the floor. Good. Take your blocks and set them on either side of your hip area, and we're going to lift up tall here. So come up even taller. Good. Take your right foot, make sure the top of the foot, if it feels comfortable, set long, so you're resting the foot on top. Now from here, this is where we often, and I've been guilty of it too, is I'm like, oh, my hips are high, and I jam myself into this space. This is where I want you to practice this idea of non-harming. So really take yourself here, lift up tall, take a few big breaths in, and just see if you can release down towards the ground. Good. So it's almost like you've got this gravitational pull pulling you down, but we're doing it really slowly. We're not trying to rush this at all. And here we're opening up that whole hip flexor complex. Keep your abs engaged so that we've got some good protection of our low back, and we're sitting up tall and not arching through the low back. And just relax into it. This can feel pretty intense. This is a place that stores, like I said earlier, a lot of emotion, a lot of things that has happened to us that we have not been able to release can get stored at the muscles. And this is a place often where things can get stored. So we want to just act with a lot of kindness here. Good. Now from here, we're going to take our right hand and lift it up to the sky. And we're going to gently just guide our hand past our midline. And here we're going to give that psoas a nice little stretch here. So again, thinking about that muscle connecting right to the T12 here, right the midway through our trunk, all the way down to the front of our femur, that front of that long bone in our thigh area. We're just stretching this out. And then gently take yourself and come back through center. Set your hand down onto your block. And let's go ahead and shift our weight back. Take our blocks with us and give our hamstring a little stretch. I'm not coming down with my heel towards my hip towards my heel. I'm coming as far as feels comfortable, just stretching out that left foot, that left leg. Good. Nice job. Feel okay?
You want me to bring the toes up like you are?
Yeah, I would, if it feels cool, if it feels comfortable, not cool, if it feels comfortable, the more you're going to flex in. Talked about when we did that earlier, right? When we flex in through our feet, it turns the back of the legs on. It's going to feel a little more intense the more you bring your toes in. And think about your back being long. So I want you to hold the blocks, but we're not bracing the blocks. We're truly still working the back of our body here. So we've got a lot of core engagement, back of the body engagement. Back is long, heart is somewhat lifted. And I'm going to put a little, like a minute amount of pressure into my left heel. That's going to turn everything on a little bit more. Wonderful. And then go ahead and walk your hands back through center. One last time, we're going to just lean into it. Just release that right hip. Sit up tall. Wonderful. And then go ahead and set your blocks off to the side. And we're going to frame that front foot. And we're going to curl the right toes under and lift the right knee off the ground. Yeah. Great. Go ahead and put a little bit of weight to that left foot and then bring that right foot forward.
Sorry, my internet's not working. You're frozen.
Oh, okay. All right, give it a second because you were frozen for a second too. Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh. Oh, I see you.
Hold on.
Weird.
Switch you to my phone.
Do you want to just go back into it again, Maryann?
There we go. I switched to my phone. Our
Oh.
internet here sucks.
Oh, it was good last week though. We were good. Let's come to the front of the mat on a forward fold. So take that right foot back. That right foot was back. We're going to bring it forward, or we're going to come back into this forward fold. So from here, keep that knee bent if we need to. We're not trying to jam our thighs. It's really important because we don't want to overload the hamstring. So when we're ready, bend in through the knees and then energize through those feet one more time. We're going to extend our body all the way up tall. Bring the palms back to your heart center. Wonderful. Now we're going to do our last one. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, lead with your heart. Pull your belly in, lengthen down through the back, coming all the way back into your forward fold. Wonderful. Take your left foot back this time, finding that low lunge. So left foot back. Good. Great. Set your left knee down to the ground. Fantastic. You've got both your blocks. Good. And then come all the way up. So just make sure your knee is tracking over your ankle, which I think it is based on how it looks like from here. Good. And that's just, sorry?
Now.
Okay, all right. Because you want to be careful that your knee never tracks over your toes. It's just too much strain on the knee. So good. So sit up tall, bring those blocks maybe even closer to you. There you go. Take a few, there you go. Take a few breaths and just let your body just, like at the end of the day, after you finish class today, you could be like, we're done. Just let that come to you now. And just slowly let gravity kind of make your way down towards the floor, down towards the ground. Wonderful. That's great. And just coming to this with so much love, so much kindness and gentleness towards ourselves. Wonderful. Then when you're ready, go ahead and break both hands, your left hand up towards the sky. Keep your right hand on your block. And as you're here, think of just dropping that shoulder blade just a little bit down, sitting up tall, and then gently leaning over towards the right side. Wonderful. Still keeping, and again, we're not trying to rainbow or reach the floor. We're just going as far as feels comfortable. Wonderful. Breathe in here. And let go. Wonderful. And slowly make your way back through center. Rest your left hand on your block. And then let's go ahead and shift our weight back. Give our hamstring a little stretch on the right leg. Toes can flex in. Good. So you're kind of extending through the leg. Rest your hands onto the blocks. I'll get my right leg in. And you can, I don't know if you're comfortable sitting down. I feel like that could be a lot. I find I can never bring that down. I'm just kind of suspended here using my blocks just to help me stay long through the spine. My toes are flexing and I'm kind of hinging from my hips here. So I'm almost like as if I'm pulling my hips back, but my back is nice and long, pulling towards the front of the room. Toes are itching towards the center. Heel is slightly engaged into the ground. Let's breathe in here. Wonderful. And go ahead and make your way back towards center. One last little hip opener here. Just allow the hips to open up. Let that body just nestle down towards the ground. Wonderful. And then from here, set your blocks to the side. And this time we're going to take our right foot back. And we're going to come right back into our child's pose. One last one. Big toes together, knees are wide, press back. And just take a few breaths here just to relax your body. Wonderful. Breathe into the back of the body. Let the spine extend. And let your body just rest down. Wonderful. And slowly you can make your way back up into all fours. And then we're going to come down onto our back. Whenever you're ready. Good.
Lying down?
Yeah. Lie down your back. Good. And let's bring our knees towards our heart. Awesome. Good. Let's go ahead and do that one more time, just rocking our body side to side. Good. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come back through center. We'll set our feet down to the floor. I'm sorry, you're going to need your yoga block one last time. So if you can just grab one. Yeah, perfect. Good. So I want you to come into a half bridge pose. So you're going to press into the feet, lift your sacrum, and take your yoga block and set it right underneath your low back. And just find that comfortable space. Maybe, yeah, more where your sacrum is. Yeah. So you're going to want to maybe find that comfortable space. And just take a minute here to find what feels comfortable for you. I know the edges of the blocks can feel a little uncomfortable. And just take a few breaths here. Just let your body kind of settle down. Relax your low back. Relax your heart space. Let your chest be open and expansive. So this is a wonderful alternative to bridges. So if you're ever kind of in a static bridge where you're just lifted and holding there, if that feels too much, you can always find this alternative. This is also considered an inversion. So anytime our head's below our heart, we're bringing ourselves into our inversion. Now, when you're ready, go ahead and draw your right knee in and then your left, and then we're going to extend our legs up to the sky. This is going to be one of our last poses for tonight. And here we're going to, sorry?
Candlestick, right?
Candle, that's exactly it, candlestick, yes. So this is our wonderful restorative pose for the night. Just that wonderful way to relax the body. Might feel like a bit of work, but it really helps soothe this nervous system and calm the body down. And just take a moment to come back to that opening of the chest. Try to relax your shoulders, relax your eyes and your throat. Wonderful. And whenever you're ready, you can start to bend in through the knees. Bring those knees in towards your chest one last time for one more hug. And then when you're ready, set your feet down to the floor. And we're just going to lift our sacrum an inch or two away from the block and set that block off to the side. Wonderful. And when you're ready, if you want to extend your legs out in Shavasana, you can. If you want to go into a supported reverse butterfly, you can. So that's where your soles of your feet are together and your knees open up. We've done a lot of hip work today. So if you want to take a break from that, that's absolutely fine. My suggestion to you is take 2 of your yoga blocks, set them underneath your knees or on your thighs so that they're supported, so that you're not working. Because in Shavasana, we want to take this break. So with the soles of the feet together, take your yoga blocks and set them kind of like, I've got mine on my thigh, kind of on my shin area.
And just let your legs open up. And this is just going to relax your hips. Give them a little bit of a gentle opening, but it should feel very comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable, go ahead and set them off to the side. And maybe just for today, we're going to rest one hand on our heart, one hand on our tummy. Just take a moment to remind ourselves of our intention and also our theme of the day. Knowing that this is something ahimsa is not just used for our time on the mat, but is also used off the mat. Anytime we have those words in our mind or those feelings that are not filled with love for ourselves, just take us back to a space where we're in that loving space for ourselves. Remind ourselves of ahimsa. And as you're resting here in Shavasana, just simply allow your mind to quiet. Allow your eyes to soften. Perhaps you can even imagine the heart beating in your chest, nourishing your body, pumping the blood that keeps us alive all through the body. Maybe you notice the subtlety of the breath entering the body. Slow and steady, quiet and restful. Perhaps as we rest here, we invite stillness, not just in the body, not just in the mind, but in our space around us. Releasing our attention from any external sounds, external sensations, the difference of temperature in the room. Simply be and not do. Before we reawaken our body, let's simply begin to deepen the breath in through the nose and sigh it out of the mouth. Let's repeat that a few more times. Let everything go.
Maybe we start to wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes. And try to keep your knees from moving just quite yet. We're going to take our time to come out of this reclined butterfly. We'll just start to invite a little bit of movement. Maybe your head kind of sways side to side. Before we start to lift our knees, make sure our toes have got a little bit of movement in them. And you can start bringing the knees towards each other. Wonderful. And let's roll on to our favorite side, whether you're facing the back of the camera or your back's to the camera, doesn't matter. Just take a moment, face, and roll onto your favorite side. And take about 3 or 4 nice big deep breaths here, just as we prepare to transition back. Remember just to continue to harvest this feeling of stillness in the body. Always stay with us, on or off the mat. And then when you're ready, take your top arm and just gently press yourself up into Sukhasana, back into our easy seated pose. Maybe even continue to keep your eyes closed if you want. Perhaps bringing our hands in Anjali Mudra if we want to, or we can simply rest our hands at our knees, really whatever feels good for you. Let's remind ourselves of our energy together, our unity of one. And as you're ready, let us take a deep breath in through the nose, and this time just completely empty out the body of breath. May your heart always stay warm, and may your smile always stay broad, and may the light that shines in me honor the light that shines in you. Namaste. Thank you, Maryann. From my heart to yours, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and I hope you have a really restful sleep tonight.
I'm sure I will.
I'm sure you will. Make sure to drink lots of water.
Thank you for staying late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kind of bad that way. It's kind of one of these things. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I will. It's a thing I keep working on every year, but have a wonderful night, and I am absolutely able to meet next Thursday. I'll be up at the cottage, so we'll be taking our class from there. Yeah, so if 6 o'clock still works for you next Thursday, it works for me.
Perfect.
Great. So I'll get this video to you tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I keep saying I'll do it on the same night, and it never really works out. So I'm going to do it tomorrow for sure, because I'm pretty much home for the afternoon. So I'll get it for you tomorrow, and then you have it in your repertoire. And if you want any videos, don't be shy. I'm happy to send them to you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening. Thanks, Maryann. Bye-bye.